Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
What's up, Delora? New week, new pod. How are you?
Hi, Ashley. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I'm back out in these Ohio streets for a little bit. I was telling you, I'm just adjusting to this weather. Stepped outside this morning to a cool 40 degrees, and my ass was not quite ready.
I love it. I love all of this. It's like fall. You can have your nice warm mug of coffee, tea, cocoa, etc., and you get cozy underneath the throw. It's amazing. Watch a good movie, like a cozy movie. Like I said, my ever after Would You Bury More is, or a book. I love a good book too.
Yeah,
it's my season.
I just downloaded a new audiobook, Yellowface.
Yes. I started it. I DNF that though.
What is DNF?
Did not finish.
Well, don't tell me. I just downloaded an audiobook because I have to miss. Remember I told you I've been doing book club. Sorry, guys. It's a tangent. Book club. And this was one on the list this month. And I was like, it sounds interesting. I got some Audible credits. So let me just, even though I can't make book club this month, let me go ahead and read one of them or listen to one of them rather. So yeah, I'll get back to you once I'm like a good ways in.
I need to know your thoughts. And I might pick it back up.
Because when you have somebody to talk to something about, it does make it more interesting.
Exactly. Hence our podcast, right? We needed to talk about these movies and these TV shows out here in these streets. And we wanted to share our conversation with our wonderful listeners. So
absolutely. Thank you guys for coming back for another episode. Enough with the pleasantries. It's time to get into what's been going on in these pop culture streets since last we chatted. We have a few things today. And so we'll start with these headlines. First up is the BET Hip Hop Awards, which me and Delora are not going to lie to y'all. We did not check out. We're just going to talk about some of the highlights.
Do I care? Like, I didn't know they still did this. Like, real talk.
Well, we've talked about on mic and off how we're kind of transitioning out of our prime era of like music shows and award shows, because I'm always, even when we talked about MTV Awards, I'm pleasantly surprised when I see people I still know and like step on that stage. I'm like, oh, okay, you're still out here. Oh, okay. But now it's like they're the ones earning the career achievement and Vanguard Awards and stuff.
Lifetime Achievement Awards. And I'm out here remembering when Shakira first said, lucky that my breasts are small and humble. Okay. I'm like, do you remember that?
I don't, but you see, I perked them up just because. Thank you, Shakira. That's a itty bitty titty anthem.
Wherever we're meant to be together.
She's one of those, I don't know the lyrics. Sometimes you just hum along. That's what Shakira. Yeah. I hum along to Shakira. I hum.
That's so funny. But no, I am Tommy Davidson with this list, like, who are these Negroes? Who are they? I do not know.
The big winner of the night, though, was your boy Kendrick Lamar, because he won 4 major awards. He won Hip Hop Artist of the Year, Lyricist of the Year, Best Live Performer, and Video Director of the Year, alongside Dave Free.
Of course they're going to give it to Kendrick, because who else is doing it like him out here? No one. And then what are these categories, Ashley? Hustler of the Year? What? Sweet 16? Best feature verse? Like, what? Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, but I like it though, because at least it makes them distinctive. Like, a lot of the big award shows have the same old categories that you're used to. So I feel like they're just kind of putting a different stamp on it. And it's hip hop. I mean, why not have some fun with it? It's just hip hop is not my genre, not my favorite genre, rather. So I've never gravitated to these awards.
Lady. But you know what's also relevant? So two things, Ashley. When it comes to the BET Hip Hop Awards, one, I didn't think they still cared about Black people at BET. You know, we know it's owned by Viacom, which is not ran by Black people. We also know that they were quote unquote for sale. And I don't know if that was some type of way to bring attention to it, but they end up reneging at the end.
Right.
Because we had everybody from Diddy to Tyler Perry to what's his name? Byron Allen putting bids in to buy it just for them to say, you know what? No, thank you. And then two, I think it's important for us to realize the reason why we don't care about these award shows outside of aging out, we don't have cable. So it's like, it's not like we're constantly reminded. You still have cable?
I'm forced to have cable because of my HOA.
What?
Yep. Our community has been fighting against it for years. But yeah, we're forced to have cable. We pay for it. That is
like the most grown lady statement you've said in a long time. My HOA requires me to have cable.
I guess I'm grown.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, we have had cable on and off for years now. Like in the past, when we did get cable, it was because we like moved to like a new apartment and we could have a deal. Now that we're in our house, that new, installation situation, it's gone.
I was having this conversation recently with somebody. Isn't it so messed up how businesses reward new customers but not loyal customers?
Listen,
like it's the loyal customers who should continue to get great discounts.
That is what I'm saying.
Loyalty. I tell you what. Yeah, nothing about this really even makes me want to go back and watch this like on demand from what I'm seeing of what happened. I know that based on this Essence article, I was seeing like Sexy Red made her debut performance. She's a Trump supporter. So, City Girls announced her lyrics, their new album.
My pee is pink and my situation is brown. What?
Yep. I had no issues. Like I've heard people talk about Sexy Red. I've heard about how provocative her lyrics are. None of that stuff is shocking to me anymore. Like there have been people who came before you who said a lot of crazy things, right? True. That didn't get me. I was like, okay, do your thing. But then
what happened to metaphors?
You gotta go back to the 60s and 70s for all that. Let's get it on. Okay. Go on back to Marvin Gaye if you want some metaphors. It's raw. It is raw in these days and times. But City Girls announced they're gonna have a new album coming out this month. Okay. So Def had a tribute. Okay. Did you just hear what the one young lady who did 106 & Park said about Bow Wow?
No.
In an interview?
What did she say?
So apparently she was going to be his main girl in Shorty Like Mine video with him and Chris Brown. He asked her to go back to his hotel and she said no. And so the next day she shows up. Angela Simmons has a trailer. She has a trailer. And somebody comes in and tells her, oh, actually, you've been fired. He's going to have Angela Simmons as his main girl now. So Chris comes into her trailer and was like, hey, what's up? She was like, I just got fired. He was like, oh, no, you're not fired. You can be my main girl. Okay, forget about it. So she still ends up in the video. Her and Bow Wow bump into each other over the years. He always seems like he has an issue. She gets hired on for 106 & Park. She called it hazing, but she was just being nice. He apparently was talking, like saying her stuff that she had up on the prompter, then dropping it, making it seem like she was supposed to be saying, like just being unprofessional. It finally took Aubrey, Drake, her ex, to step in and I guess say something to him. And from then on, Bow Wow was nice to her. And people in the comments was like, y'all making it seem like this is about him hazing her, but really this is about him not getting sex from her that he would have wanted. So then he tried to be rude and disrespectful to her professionally.
Who is this girl? You're talking about the light-skinned girl who does like journalism type stuff?
Yes, I can't think of her name, but Kiki, the real Kiki.
Oh, Kiki, do you love me? Mm-hmm. Got it.
Mm-hmm. At least rumored that she was the real Kiki. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, okay, now I really don't, I ain't never had no issues with Bow Wow, but Glorilla performed, a few others, but nothing
Who?
really pulled me in. Nothing pulled me in.
The fact that she calls herself Gorilla sometimes just take me out. I'm like, her name is Gloria in real life.
She just put a little spin on it for the stage, just got to put a little spice on it. But you know what's
Creativity.
funny? Something about her in the face reminds me of Kyla Pratt just a little bit. Like when I just saw like a picture of her, I was like, you kind of look like Kyla Pratt from a distance.
Girl, I don't know, because I feel like her and what's her name? Corley Ray or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, Coyle Ray.
They look similar. I don't know. Sometimes some of these rap girls look a lot alike.
Style wise, I see it. Style for sure. It's been kind of a certain vibe. But I mean, that's all really we got from the BET Hip Hop Awards. If anybody else listened or watched and y'all have some thoughts, let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Let's move on to Jason Derulo and these allegations and lawsuit that has come out against him. I've kind of like seen this here and there, but I haven't like seen major news about it. But I have up an NBC News article.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, that headline is Jason Derulo signed hopeful singer to a deal and then expected sex, she alleges in lawsuit. Her name is Amaza Gibson. And she said that Jason turned cold after she rejected his advances, eventually dropped her deal altogether. The article from last week basically just mentions that she had been so excited about this promise of a record deal. She was a singer and social media sensation. She was a part of a group originally and then broke off and became a solo performer. And she's just mentioning that she started experiencing aggressive behavior, unwanted invitations, implications that she'd have to have sex with him to advance her career and this and that. And in her statement, she said, I'm at this point in my life right now. It's very heartbreaking. I have anxiety. I'm traumatized. I've dealt with inhumane work situations. I'm at this point where I'm back to zero and I have nothing. Jason posted last week a video to Instagram denying the allegations. He said, I wouldn't normally comment, but these claims are completely false and hurtful. I stand against all forms of harassment and I remain supportive of anybody following their dreams. I've always strived to live my life in a positively impactful way. And that's why I sit here before you deeply offended by these defamatory claims. God bless. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think we talked about this a little bit when we talked about Russell Brand, that I think in entertainment, these stories are more prevalent than not. How many of them come to light, not sure, but it's sad to think about the behaviors, especially the predatory behaviors of certain individuals for people who are on the come up and just trying to make it and just trying to find success in the field and the career that they're passionate about. So this was just another example of that. Obviously, don't know what's going to happen with this lawsuit, but I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like this entertainment business is a nasty one based on some of the things that go on behind closed doors.
It's really ugly. We've said this on previous podcasts before as well. The Me Too movement made its way through Hollywood, specifically the movies and TV. We have yet to scratch the surface on the music industry. And I'm scared to know the things that go on behind the scenes, because I mean, that's all you hear. Artists having really late night sessions and people being in the sound booths and drinking and smoking and all that. So literally anything is possible. And yeah, again, the gatekeepers, they be standing at they post, and like you say, a lot of them display these predatory behaviors. And I don't know, this is ugly. And honestly, with this story is just rumbles, but it hasn't really been front page news or anything like that. But usually in situations like this, if this is true, this won't be the last we hear of this. I feel like, I'm sure It is unfortunately going off of the pattern behavior. If one person speaks up, more people tend to follow.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. To your point, definitely think that there's a lot of shenanigans in music. I remember even Issa Rae, when she started working on rap shit, was like, oh, I thought, the movie and TV business was something. This music business is a different beast. So we'll have to follow up on this story, guys, as we get more information and it develops. Let's move on to our next headline. Simone Biles, historic achievement, the GOAT of gymnastics, breaks her own record and becomes the most decorated gymnast in history. The 26-year-old Olympian athlete now has 27 world championship medals. I'm referencing an article by Sports Illustrated. Simone, the Ohio native, as they reference in the article, got to throw that out there, concluded the 2023 World Artistic Gymnastics Championship with 4 gold medals, securing her total of 27, 21 of which are gold. Combining this achievement with her 7 Olympic medals, Biles now boasts a record 34 world championship and Olympic medals, solidifying her status as the most decorated gymnast in history. I think what makes this so exciting to me too, when this news broke, was like, because I haven't been keeping up with all of the things in sports, period, that have been going on across the board. But the fact that everybody was making it such a big deal when she needed to take her break and making it seem like, oh, she's not doing what she needs to do for her team and all this and that. She obviously did what was best for her and is able to come back stronger and better than she ever would have before and make history.
I love this as well. And I had the same sentiment of like, because the last Olympics were so difficult in terms of everything that she was going through with her mental health, I did wonder if she was going to retire. And to see her come back in such a healthy space and dominate is such a remarkable story. And I'm so happy that we're able to see it. What I also love about it too is like she's able, this is a better story than her winning all the golds from the last Olympics, you know what I mean? Because we're all gearing up for Paris 2024.
Bed bugs and all.
And all. And I just love this. I love this for her. I love this for America. I love this for all the Black girls, because shout out to the Black girl magic on some of those podiums.
Yes.
With the all beautiful. Around. Beautiful. I love this for her. And bravo, Simone. Bravo.
Absolutely. Yeah. In this article, they say that she is set to compete in Paris next year, but she and her coach are taking a whatever happens approach to keep pressure off and protect her mental health. As you should, Simone. Do your thing out here, girl. Truly the GOAT.
She got people sweating out here. You hear about that Russian coach talking about, oh, she's only winning because of her level of difficulty, but not out of artistry. I'm like,
haters gonna hate.
What? Wait, so you're upset that she's doing hard stuff?
Haters gonna hate, Delora.
Are you upset because your gymnast can't do what she can do?
Exactly. You're upset with her level of athleticism. That's what it is. All your girl can do is do a pretty floor routine. She can't do that whatever vault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even name them.
Simone has officially converted, I forgot, I think it was an Asian name, like the most difficult vault now is known as Simone 2 on the vault. Like, insanity.
Truly. Yeah, that's haters gonna hate. There ain't nothing even to say about that. Just gotta laugh. But good for you, girl. So happy to see it. Let's move on to another beautiful Black woman. Kayla Nicole has officially responded via an open letter on Instagram, or open video. I don't know why they're calling it necessarily a letter. It's
a letter to Black girls.
Okay, sure. We can call it that. To the, I don't know what to say, Delora, not even speculation. I guess it's still speculation at this point, but to all of the naysayers and haters and negativity and conversation that has been directed at her because of who her ex is dating currently.
Why aren't you just simply saying the Swifties? Because they are out here in full force in her DMs and comments.
Because I don't even know if it's just the Swifties at this point. Like, people on these internets, some people just don't have nothing else to do but sit and talk shit on people's comment sections and whatever else. But yeah, the Swifties in particular obviously have been the main ones trying to drag her down and make it seem as if she is not comparable to their queen. I said last week I wasn't going to talk about her, so I'm really not talking about her. I'm talking about Kayla. So in this open letter, Delora, Kayla did not address anyone particularly by name. This was more about a love letter, as you mentioned, to Black women and really to herself. Yes. And about how we are more than the things that society and other people try to value us as, that, you know, we're powerful and we're all these various things. You're the first person who sent me this video. So what was your initial reaction to, first of all, Kayla responding at all, and then her message?
I know she had to have been getting a lot of scrutiny, and we even talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how even Travis' 8-month relationship chick is talking about him being a perpetual cheater, allegedly.
Yep.
And so I'm like, if she's speaking out, I know Kayla is getting all types of heat to say something. Yeah. Because she was actually with him for years.
5. Okay? 5
years. Okay. And I'm glad that she said something, because before she was doing the subtle, you know, thirst trap pictures post she made a week ago. She's like, for your viewing pleasure. And it's her in this skimpy pink little situation. She's looking amazing because she's gorgeous. And I really appreciated the heart of this response. And I appreciated that she didn't say anybody's name, but in so many ways, she spoke to her story, talking about being with a man that people didn't expect her to be with, i.e. a white man, and feeling unprotected, but knowing that you are deserving of it, and knowing yourself and knowing your worth. I thought it was beautifully said and inspirational. And I think she did more in this video than trying to clap back to all the internet haters. Those are my thoughts on that.
I don't think that she necessarily had to respond. If she kept it moving, I would have totally understood, because this is her ex, and she's totally entitled to move on with her life and not be bothered just because he's in some potential high profile relationship, and people want to, you know, cast the women against each other and talk about who has more money and who looks better and all this ridiculousness, even though it is kind of nice for once to see them talking about a woman's net worth. But
wait, I know we're not talking about her, but I saw this video that says the amount he makes in a year, she made off of one night of her concert. So.
Yeah, because you know, this women making some money out here in this world, so Absolutely. It's nice to not only be about who's cuter, who's all that. Like, oh no, we got money over here too, boo. But anyway. Point is that I don't think she had to respond. If she had never said anything, I would have totally respected that. I understood it. But I think this was a very classy, I'm commenting, but I'm not commenting. This is for other women who may be like me or looking at me or looking up to me. And I just want you guys to know that I see and love you. And I appreciate, especially if there have been a lot of Black women who have reached out to her specifically during all of this and shown love and support. Like, I can totally see that, because I can only speak from my experience, but in moments that I need them, Black women are always the MVPs of my life.
Same.
So
especially I can only when you get the right ones in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can only imagine what she may be going through privately, but I hope that she's in a good place, because she looks amazing in the video, like she always does. But also, You are
Always.
not the man and the men you've dated. You know what I'm saying? He's allowed to move on with his
Listen,
life and not have to
she
worry
is
about it.
herself,
Yes.
right?
Like even the headline of this Today article I have up says Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend posts open letter.
Didn't even have her name.
Did not have her name.
Unfortunately, I'm looking at people.com and it says Travis Kelce ex Kayla Nicole. I'm like, first of all, do we
And we know what that's
at least
about.
put
That's
her
about
name
the
first?
clickbait. Yeah, that's about the
Exactly.
clickbait of it all and who is more popular in the sphere of who's going to get
Yes.
attention. But
Right.
like I said, when we first started talking about this pairing, I knew who Travis Kelce was because of Kayla Nicole, because of that relationship. I didn't know who that man
Yes.
was before that. I'm not an
Same.
NFL
I
football
knew him
fan
a
these
little
days.
bit because now I'm in Cincinnati and he went to UC, but
He
still.
did. He did. Well, that's the end of that for me, Kayla. I hope it's the end of that for you too, boo. Do your thing out here, girl. Don't let these people get you down. Okay.
Not at all. You are worthy. You are enough. Period.
Point blank. All right, Delora. It's time to get into today's hot topics. Oh my goodness. Aubrey. We were talking about him a few ago.
I'm
out
so
here.
sick of this man.
He is out here in his feelings though. Like I know he's always kind of been one to get into tiffs with people, but I feel like he's going through something because, well, besides his health, which I guess we should talk about that part first.
Sure.
So Drake dropped a new album, and on the same day he dropped the album, he mentioned that he is taking a career break because of health issues. He's been having some type of stomach issues that he said has been bothering him and that he needs to get right. I wasn't surprised by the whole break situation because it seems like he's been dropping so much, like back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And for me personally, like I've mentioned, I'm not a Drake fan, but I haven't heard the same level of like excitement about Drake's music the way that I used to.
Because it's not that great like it used to be. I mean, it's just one of those things where he's been on top for so long, it's starting to get a little gimmicky. I mean, the last time we talked about Drake before the Halle Berry thing was when he did that music video acting like he was getting married to like 26 girls and Tristan Thompson was in it. You know what I mean? What was it for the Playboys? What was the name of that album, Ashley?
I don't remember, Delora, because that's how little I probably paid attention to it after I gave it. If I gave that one a listen, I don't remember because I've really not been listening to his music anymore like that. Like I said, I'll listen to a single here and there, but full album.
There. No. Same. And I used to really love Drake, but yes, Ashley, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, obviously we're talking about us, you not really gravitating to his music. You especially were a big fan and aren't really anymore. And that's similar to kind of what seems like Joe Budden said on his podcast, was just kind of like, this music doesn't excite me. Like, let me read literally what he said in the Yahoo Entertainment article. He said, I miss the Drake that was rapping for rappers. He's rapping for the children. Yo, dog, I had to look up how old this nigga was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that. You about to be 27. Get away from some of these younger
37.
Yeah, get away from some of these younger guys. I want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people. He's rapping for the kids, the streams, the accolades. He ain't trying to rap for me. I can accept that. And Drake has been going in on his thoughts and feelings about this. He up here talking about how much money, like what you have versus what I have, right? Like you up here, you're a failed rapper, you're a failed artist. I have a whatever private jet. You up here doing your little podcast, got to worry about Best Buy mics, which first of all, don't shit on podcasters. Podcasters do be making bread these days. But
one day.
He also, even Birdman has gotten in on this. His daddy has gotten in on this. What is Drake going through, you think, that is making him, is it because his album in general is not well received, or do you think it is a actual beef with Joe Budden and his platform?
I feel like besides him being in his light-skinned feelings, no.
He definitely don't make light-skinned dudes look good, okay?
Especially
with them clips.
Girl. And then how he treats women. Like, first of all, we knew he was We talked about Drake. We have talked about him extensively, unfortunately, on this podcast. I compared him to the modern day Marcus from
Graham. Yep.
Marcus Graham from Boomerang. Here's the deal with Aubrey. In addition to me no longer being a fan of his music, I hate how he navigates relationship with women in the public eye. From Halle Berry to Meg the Stallion, it's just gross. Now, in terms of this Joe Budden situation, and mind you, a clock can be right, what, twice a day?
Yeah.
Because I am not out here trying to defend no Joe Budden to nobody.
Me either. Never thought I would see the day.
Never thought I'd see the day. But Drake is a fan. Drake has been interviewed and said that he would try to have Joe Budden's flow. And so Drake is butthurt. Like, he is hurt that somebody he has looked up to is ragging on him. And he must know there's some truth to it, because I don't know what's going over there in Little Weezy's record label, but I have said the same thing about Nicki Minaj.
I have too.
It's like, you have to grow with your audience. And honestly, you will go further if you try to do it. And I think that's the only reason why Jay-Z keeps coming out of retirement, because he's like, this is how.
Has Jay-Z ever really retired? Let's be honest. Like,
grand opening, so. Grand closing.
he ain't do the Michael Jordans. He can go to another sport. You know, he's always been right there, ready. You know, he's just sitting up in the bleachers sometime. He dressed, but he just chose not to play in the game. Jay-Z ain't going nowhere. But
I think we probably got one more album out of him because he's about to be 50. But seriously, hip hop needs to grow. And I think so we're probably third generation with Drake, maybe, when it comes to hip hop artists and the leaders.
Third generation as in, do you still think of like the OGs of like the originators of rap still being around?
Yes.
And you have like the
Jay-Z and Nas.
But see, I feel like Drake may even be fourth generation, because I kind of see like Jay-Z as maybe in the third. Like, if you got the OGs, where do you think Snoop? I feel like Snoop and Tupac and them were in the middle of that.
Yes.
And then you had Jay-Z and Nas and them. And now you have like the Drakes and the Kendricks and and J. Cole's. Like, I feel like they're almost fourth wave.
It could be. It could be.
And then fifth wave is these kids that I don't fuck with.
My pee is pink and my booty.
I don't even understand half of what y'all say. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it.
Okay. So.
And I'm sorry, not to just name male rappers, guys.
No.
We recognize all
Queen
the phenomenal
Latifah
female, yes.
In
all
the
the female
Tupac
MCs, yes.
The Smalls.
I would put her with the more, even the OGs with
you think
Queen
so?
Latifah. Yeah.
Because she was around with LL Cool J and them too.
Yeah.
Ashley, he just needs to grow up, and he's feeling hurt because he took the hit. He is taking the hit.
I agree so much with everything you're saying. I definitely saw them talking about his old interviews where he talked so highly of Joe Budden and this and that. So I definitely agree. Joe Budden even was reading some of the DMs, I guess, that Drake has sent him, still keeping this going. And I'm like, and Joe Budden's like, I'm in the best space I've ever been in life. Like, this is not a beef for me. Like, I don't know why you're taking this so personally. So that's what makes me think, like, Drake, it is best that you're just stepping away, because whatever it is that you're going through, you are so successful. Like, let your success speak for itself. You don't need to go this hard publicly about anything. Like,
he's insecure about something.
Take the L with these last couple albums and realize that the music isn't hitting the way you may want it to, whether you're not inspired creatively, whether there are things in your personal life you need to kind of move through in order to break through into a new space. Like, there could be all sorts of things we don't know about.
When it comes to artists, you want people to live their lives so they have something to
talk about. But I agree.
Yes.
I've said this about Nicki Minaj too. I think that was one of the things, and I don't know what this next, Pink Friday 2 is going to be like, because I love the original Pink Friday. But I have definitely been waiting for them to evolve in terms of their storytelling. That's the thing for me, is like the subject matter, not their flow. I think they both have really great flows. I love listening to them. But what is it that you're saying? What are you talking about? Only so many times Nicki Minaj can say I'm the best and these bitches are my sons and all this shit. Only so many times Drake can talk about I ain't never marrying. Y'all know I can't be faithful. Like, what else do you have to say? What else is going on in your mind, right? Like Nicki, we've seen some
like how's fatherhood for you, sir?
Exactly. But for like Drake, I don't listen to his music as much as I used to, but from anything I've heard, and even this Rihanna diss that he apparently did on this album.
Girl, that is what I forgot. I was like, him and women, I'm like, I'm missing something significant. Him trying to play like Rihanna ain't Rihanna.
You're done. We're done. That was ridiculous.
On something.
Yeah.
The internet never forgets. They're like the North, right? The North remembers. They were like, not him claiming that she ain't all that she claims to be in the bedroom, but him being in physical altercations with Chris Brown, trashing a bowling alley back in the day.
But who are you saying this for? Nobody is checking for you talking about Rihanna, especially not Rihanna. You look so ridiculous. This woman just had a second baby, is in a happy relationship. Who are you talking to? Who are you rapping for? You sound fucking ridiculous.
Stupid.
That's like when you hear somebody and they dated somebody 20 years ago and they still, you know what it is? Vivica Fox still talking about 50 Cent.
I do think this is worse, though. I do think this is worse, but I see where you're going.
I'm just saying it's something that has become so irrelevant. That's my point. It's like, it's not what he's saying, but it's the relevancy of it. If this had happened like right after it seemed like y'all were together, it would be like, oh, wow, that's some shit. That's shady, right? He wouldn't have been shit for it. But it's like, at this point, who even cares?
So true.
It's so irrelevant. So yeah, go take some time off.
And, you know, it makes me wonder. Another thing that the internet's be saying, and I feel like has some validity to it, is the fact that this is all a facade for him. This is just another character, like dude from Degrassi, Drake the rapper.
Yeah, I saw somebody write like, he's an actor, he's not a rapper. Why y'all be taking him this seriously? He ain't really about this life. Yeah,
truly, he is not. And yes, it was inspirational when he was talking about the grind, but at this rate, he's punching down, and it's not cute.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because there's so many things going on in the world and so many other things to focus on. I don't care about how much money you have. I don't care how much more money you have than Joe Budden. Clearly, his influence is such that you feel the need to respond to this man. So there's that.
He did the same thing to Charlemagne, but I think he's going even harder on Joe Budden because, again, he used to be a fan. Girl, Alien exists, okay? We ain't even talking about that.
Yeah. And you know, I keep saying that I'm not going to let the alien thing get to me, but swear to you, that same week that all that was talked about, the doorbell rang at my house and I was like, they found me. Like, they're coming for me, because it was like really quiet outside. It seemed really weird. I was like, oh, they here for me, right? Like, it was a whole like paranoid like train of thinking. And I was like, oh, see, this is why I can't dive too deep into this shit, because I'm gonna be paranoid. They got me. They're
among us.
They're coming for me. Did Charlie just jump in your lap? Just scared the shit out of you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
Oh my God. Hey, dog. Hey. Oh, I couldn't make this up. Oh my gosh.
All right, Delora. That's enough airtime for Aubrey. Let's move on to our final hot topic of the day. Jada Pinkett Smith is the gift that keeps on giving to these internets.
Girl.
Her memoir is about to be dropping, Worthy. And so she's out here on the interview circuit, right? We're just talking about Kerry Washington. And I don't remember if I mentioned it, but I'm going to go see them both talking about their books on their book tour. So I'll be bringing that back. I'll be bringing that back to the pod for sure.
Looking forward to that.
But as she's doing these interview rounds, she has made the big revelation that her and Will Smith have basically been living separate lives since 2016. 7 years.
Wow.
Not divorced legally, but technically they are not together. So, the internets have been eating this shit up. They like, so what you slap Chris Rock for?
I hate people.
Y'all wasn't even together.
Why can't a Black woman be protected? This is a woman that he has loved, probably continues to love, may not be in love with, but what you're not going to do is play in her face. She's the mother of his children.
And still legally married, too. And Jada said that Chris tried to holler during one of their potential headline divorces. He read, how people were always speculating they're having marital issues. He believed it one good year. She ain't named a year, but one good year he believed it. He reached out and said, hey, I'd like to take you out. And she was like, what you mean?
Ashley, when I tell you that slap was personal, I'm like, I didn't know if we were ever going to truly know, but this is the insights that we were waiting for months ago. That slap was personal. That's why Will didn't get charges put against him.
There's definitely way more to this story, because she was even saying there's other things that went on between them back in the 80s. She doesn't feel like it's her place to say all the things that have gone on between them, but there's some other things. Yeah, there's other things. And she also did talk about the 2016 boycott of the Oscars and how she felt like she could have handled that differently with him, because she didn't think about the level of pressure he was likely under as being the host and all of that. So she said she does feel like she could have handled a phone call she had with him about that differently, and that he may have taken offense to that a bit. But, in general, the biggest revelation that I've been seeing headlines about from her interview so far was this revelation about their separation. I think the biggest thing to me that I was thinking when I heard this was like, so the entanglement sit down for red table talk, I thought meant that y'all had gotten to a better place, like from whatever that situation was. I didn't know the better place was we not together no more. I thought they were back and like our marriage is strong.
But what's funny about the red table talk, not even just that infamous sit down with Will, but some of their prior conversations, because I used to watch it in its first several seasons. They have been saying this for a long time. Like, they have not been lying to us about, I love you. We are in this together.
Partnership.
We are partners. Like, she's a sneaky one. She's very intentional with her words. Yes. That's why she called it an entanglement, because she knew, she was like, this ain't an affair.
Yes. And it wasn't. They had already said then we had broken up within our marriage. I think that we had just, at least I can't speak to anybody else. I had assumed that with the red table talk that they were good, that they were in a good place as a couple. I was not prepared for the fact that they weren't together for a good 4 years prior to even that situation coming to light. And so when Hoda, in the interview that's going to be airing for NBC, talked to her about it, she was like, they just weren't ready yet to talk about this, right? They were still trying to figure out how they were going to be in a partnership, what this meant to them, how do they present it to people. And I think one thing that has gotten to me
on them.
But exactly, one thing that's gotten to me about all the criticism is like, y'all forget the level of like stature they have as a couple, especially within the Black community.
Huge. They are next to Barack and Michelle,
next to Denzel and Pauletta, next to like these, like they were an OG Hollywood gold couple, right?
They
marriage
were in
goals.
That Alicia Keys song. First of all, that song did not age very well.
This is why you should not revere other people's relationships, obviously, because you never know what's really going on behind closed doors. But I have said this. I think I even said this when we talked about this originally, but if I didn't, I'm saying it now. Based on the things that have come out over the last few years between them, don't think they should be together anymore. Like,
no, I
agree. Just go ahead. Like, y'all don't have to hold on to this for anybody. Let it go. If this is not what's serving you best anymore, Will and Jada, don't worry about us. Don't worry about y'all kids are grown. Let it go. I hope y'all
I
move
really
on.
think she's doing it for him because
Find
his
the
first
love y'all
divorce
need.
was so devastating for him. I think
he felt like a failure. Yeah, he felt like a failure.
A failing at it again. He's such a perfectionist. Like, I think the only reason why they're not divorced is for him at the end of the day.
She said she made a promise that they would never have a reason to get a divorce, and she hasn't been able to break that promise. The promise is broken, guys. Like, are y'all hoping that at some point in later years you're gonna want to come back together? Then do that. It doesn't not getting a divorce does not, or getting a divorce rather. There are couples who get a divorce and refine love with each other later on. It's not going to stop that from happening, but I want them both to live their best lives.
Yeah, but they definitely seem incompatible in a lot of ways. The more we have gotten a peek into the relationship, and mind you, they are masters of their image, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, to your point, Will and Jada were it for years.
Yes.
Black love, royalty. Okay. I think it's interesting because there's such weight and responsibility whenever you see a successful Black person, right, for the community. That is, it's like you do not want to disappoint, but we definitely live in a different day and age. Like, if Will and Jada had broken up in like 2004, when I tell you that would have been like the end of the freaking world versus, 2023, I think it's interesting because they're obviously not doing it for their kids. They're, first of all, it is kind of choppy that she managed to have an entanglement with one of her children's friend. That's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to touch right now, but who are they doing it for at the end of the day? Because it's not for the children.
Don't do it for us. Like, I hope that whatever mental hurdles they need to get through to find their happiness and their peace, I hope that they are able to do. Like, y'all can still be great friends, because one of the things I've always heard Will say is he knew he had the right one by his side because they could talk through anything. That sounds like a great friendship.
Yes. They're both highly intelligent. They love talking and growing and evolving. I feel like they have a lot in common, but man, so do you think all those rumors through the years were true about Will and Jada being swingers? I ain't talking about this. I don't know either.
I don't know.
And I don't care at this rate.
But I do want to know who Will Smith is going to eventually step out with, because I know he's not single. I know he's not.
No. he is the cuddle bug out of this relationship. Okay? I'm just like, all I want to do is give Will a hug and make him know it's okay. It's okay, sir.
Yeah, I know he's not out here single, and I'm sure Jada is getting her swerve on too.
I don't think he's with anybody famous though.
Interesting. I feel like it'd be more likely he is with somebody famous, just for the sense of they're not. Besides August, most of them don't run their mouth like that, right?
True.
Versus somebody who maybe give him a little money, give him a little clout, give him something, and loose lips. But whoever he be messing with, he's kept that lid on. It's been sealed tight.
Right. There are no loose ends.
No, there have been zero.
I think that was that face he was making. He was like, if you had kept your stuff together, we would not be in this situation.
Kept your little boyfriend in line. Yeah. Somebody was like, oh, she really hurt him. But he was young. He was like 24 years old. So I just don't think August knew what he was getting himself into. But I digress. The last thing I wanted to say about this personally was that I don't feel that Jada is a villain. And I feel like she has been cast as a villain in this scenario because of the way information has come out, and because she's often talking about things in such a way that people feel like is embarrassing for Will and all this and that. That was their marriage. That was his wife. That was her husband. Still is. And that we don't love them more than they love each other. Like, I wish remember that. We don't love them more than they have loved each other. And they have differences. They've talked about differences and how they were brought up and how they view partnership and relationship and all this stuff. That doesn't make her a bad person. It means that they were likely incompatible.
Yes. I'm so glad that you brought up this part of the conversation, because if anything, Jada has been the realest for the longest time.
Fully transparent.
Fully transparent. And if anything, she was probably, and she's talked about this openly, molding herself to match a relationship that she just by nature is not something that she been in a situation with initially. So I agree. But the internet hates women. And I just hate that so much.
Well, I'll let y'all know what she says on this good old talk that she gives, because I'm curious.
And my deal is, I hope that she is able to highlight what's important to her and that the narrative doesn't completely lose the fact that this is her book and not centering Will.
Yeah. I'm sure when it drops too, people are going to want to know all that she has to say about Tupac, because that was another huge relationship that people always want to talk about. And, you know, just her life. Like, I feel like her upbringing in Baltimore, I don't know that much about. Her time on A Different World and her time on some of the major projects we know her for and the acting world she was in. I mean, Jada is a part of that 90s Black era.
Absolutely.
Of entertainment that I just love. Yes. So I want to hear about those sorts of things as well, and about her relationships with her kids. Like, I feel like I've gotten a lot of information from Will about his relationships with his kids, but not Jada's perspective on that same wavelength. So I mean, I am definitely curious about her, not about just her and Will. So we'll see what happens. But Delora, that's it. That's all we got for these headlines and hot topics in pop culture today. What are we recapping for the people next week?
Here's first time. We are recapping 2023's summer blockbuster, The Little Mermaid, starring Halle Bailey.
Very, very, very nice. We microdosed this, but now, guys, this will be the spoiler alert version of our chat.
Exactly.
About The Little Mermaid. We got to get into the good this time. So excited to chat about it. Love Halle Bailey so much and love the music of The Little Mermaid. So looking forward to that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We appreciate it. Share this episode with your friends, family, loved ones. Leave us a rating or a review, and we will be back